got some gnarly knolls going on.
Gnarly knolls.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Right,
So
okay,
good.
so it's live. The tweet has been sent.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
I have retweeted it, the tweet.
Yay!
Twittering everywhere.
Twitters.
Twittering.
The tweeters. Gonna be so good. Gonna be so good. Would someone mind dropping it in our Iyastera Discord, if you please?
Mm-hmm.
I had to quickly get my bag of dice.
What is the image on it?
So this was from my first convention in England. Went to MCM London, and there were a whole bunch of like critters there.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of critter artists. And one of the artists who was picked as Artist of the Week was there selling dice bags with images. So I got Vex.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and it's giant. I feel like any dice bag with one of Laura Bailey's characters on it has to be like immense.
It has to be.
It has to be.
At least the size of a house.
Yeah, I mean, it's at least the size of my face. So that's pretty good. And it's only half full.
Cool.
There's lots of room in there. Lots of room.
I got a really cool thing on the Discord, Scriv. I don't know if I told you about this, but I've got like a bot that automatically like downloads your tweet.
Really?
And it tags everyone in the Discord to it.
Oh, that's cool. We'll need to set
Really,
that up
really
for the Bard
super handy.
Commune
Like
one.
for the Bard Commune, that would be super cool.
Yeah, we gotta
If
do
people
that.
like subscribe and they want to like have one of the higher tiers, they could say like we could send that mass kind of thing to all the members.
That would be
Like so and
fantastic.
so's on live. Yeah, just
I
things to think about.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we'll have that. We'll have that meeting soon. Yeah, very soon. What are you doing on Saturday?
I'm out actually for a birthday.
A birthday? Whose
I know, I
birthday
can't
is
believe
it?
I can't believe I'm actually going out for a drink.
Whoa! What a world! What a world!
Probably collapse.
What a world! What a world! And here we are back again with a return to our Heroes of Iyastera campaign sessions, Chapter 2, Episode 5. Bow, 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 bow. Da, da, da. I'm a little tired today, so I'm compensating with hyped up energy, which is being fueled by chocolate and tea, but chamomile tea.
Okay, Bomb, have a
So
drink.
maybe it'll balance out. Yeah, find that nice equilibrium. I need to decide which set of dice to use. I'll probably stick with my typical GMing dice. Did I show this to you guys? It was a gift.
Ooh.
It was a going away gift before I moved. It's beautiful. And it says, roll for Scriv.
Cute.
I love it. Anyway, hello, lovely scribblers. I hope all of you are doing well. We are very excited to be back tonight for Heroes of Iyastera. It's been a little bit, about not quite a month. Has it been a month?
I think it has.
I think it's been about a month.
Mm.
Oh, I think I was still in quarantine for our last episode. Yeah, I was in quarantine. I was in the hotel, like the designated quarantine hotel, and I didn't have my puppy, who's now here because he knew I was thinking about him. Yeah, my dog was in with like the foster family for a bit. I'll be having dinner with them tomorrow because we can actually like go visit people now, and I'm so excited. But anyway, yeah, so first campaign session for me at least, first week streaming back with internet in the new house and all of that, so pretty excited. Hello, Fleetfoot Whack! We are excited as well. Very happy you're here and excited for more Iyastera. Excellent. So, very quickly, gotta put this boost out right before we begin, but holy heck! Bard Commune! We have 77 subscribers now. Wait, let me do a refresh to make sure, even though I refreshed it like 3 seconds ago. You never know. 77 subscribers. Since we just went live with open sign up, open registration on Monday. Oh, there we go. I am so excited.
Get a link to chat.
Oh, yeah. So bardcommune.com. Go check that out. And follow us at Bard Commune on Twitter. So in case you have not yet heard, somehow, if you're following any of us in any way, shape, or form, you would have heard about Bard Commune by now, because we've been hyping this for a while. But it is our big community project that we've been working on behind the scenes for a while, specifically for indie TTRPG creators. So if you are a creator, whether you are an artist, editor, writer, podcaster, musician, layout designer, someone involved with any element of bringing our favorite games to life as an independent, indie, freelancer type of creator, this is for you. So we are creating a community platform, web-based, worldwide, where we can gather together, network, have a mentorship program, have professional development resources, workshops, and find ways to continue to create our art together. Basically in the way that we would if we were unionizing. We are unionizing the indie TTRPG space because it is a jungle out there, and just about anyone you meet, anyone you run into is going to have some sort of story about how something went wrong. So we're trying to make it an even more positive space than it already is. But you can go find out more for yourself. Follow Bard Commune on Twitter, on Instagram. Go check out that website. We just opened up registration on Monday. We've got 77 subscribers so far. Hope to see more and more and more. And we are also officially launching our Indie TTRPG mentorship program. Sign up. You'll get the email updates if you do. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about that right now. I figured I would just load it up front, because by the time this session is done, we might all be ready to go and say goodnight. But anyway, hope everyone out there has tea, has snacks, has whatever refreshments and nibbles that you so choose. I actually remembered to brew my cup of tea tonight. I forgot it on Tuesday. So I've got it. Some nice calming chamomile tea. I'm not worried about it putting me to sleep, though. Our last episode was pretty intense. So I'm thinking... Yep.
I just gonna say I had a tea-related disaster earlier. You know the paper like tag thing on the end of the drawstring?
Did it
got
fall
caught
in?
in my zipper. Yeah, it got caught in my down, and my whole tea bag like flew out of my cup. And
It's a disaster!
so terrible. So yeah,
no.
That is something that can happen. That's never happened to me before.
It's a new thing.
New
disaster.
I normally get the thing where there we go. I normally get the thing where I'm pouring it in and the water just pulls the tag into the mug. I didn't really get too much spillage, but that happened tonight.
Yeah.
So I had a more minor disaster.
Okay. Still a disaster.
Still a disaster. Yeah. We're coining that now.
I like this song.
Me too! Isn't this a nice one? How's that audio volume, folks? I ask it every stream because you never fully know. Never fully know. Hopefully that's good. Yeah, this is my little like chill creation playlist. But anyway, we are jamming to this song because it's a bop. We are on Chapter 2, Episode 5 of our Heroes of Iyastera 5e Fusion campaign. It has been a hot minute since we last played, so we're going to do a quick little recap of what happened last time. Do you folks remember? Would you like me to go through it?
A recap would be excellent. I feel like so much has happened in the last couple of weeks. Like both just in general.
Life-wise, in general. Yeah.
It was more of a kneecap. I think there's lots of gnolls getting kneecapped.
Yeah, I think the gnolls were getting more kneecapped than anyone else. Let me turn up your voices as well to make sure all of you are coming through loud and clear. You should be good. So, last episode, I need to change the music. As much as I love this song, this does not fit the vibe of this recap.
No.
This one. Yes? Yes. So, our last episode of Heroes of Iyastera, episode 4. You began your first foray into the Verdian Hills, the wild and untamed hill country to the west of Monair, or rather in the western region of Monair. You had crossed the River Marne, you're on your way to Felbray, the closest port city, not even really a city, a fishing village that happens to have a port just large enough for some trading vessels to come through, some merchant ships. It is one of the lesser used ports, as you will find out, Marlowe, as you know. But you are on your way there to hopefully gain passage to Yokul, to find whatever knowledge may be kept within those very secretive, very closely held walls and archives of the Alabaster Athenium, continuing in your journey, your mission, your quest to try to figure out the origin and perhaps even the creator of that device, that spider-like, twisted, dark metal device that you found buried within the roots of the mother tree in Glenfarra, affecting the spring and the overall balance and health of that entire forest and the occupants therein. So, first, before you can get to Felbray, you have to get through these hills. You know that there are dangers. Fenn, when you are fleeing your pursuers, before you ran into this very, very charming and warmly welcoming party, not so much. You had been through those hills. Under the cover of night, for the most part, you went without much sleep at all. Very, very little rest, very, very little pause for fear of being apprehended. You did run into some trouble in those hills. But nothing to the degree that all of you encountered together during our last session. A storm had begun to roll through, and in an attempt to seek cover in the middle of what was otherwise a fairly smooth journey, if strenuous, hiking up and down the crests and valleys and rocky outcroppings of this hill country, you found an old traveler's rest, which you know dot the hills, dot the wilderness here and there, all across Monair, but especially in more dangerous places such as this, where there are a lot of natural hazards. Traveler's Rest, you entered, you found it very, very sparsely equipped with just the bare necessities, and you began to take your rest, to wait out the storm. Unfortunately, in the middle of the night, you had attracted the attention, or rather your passage had attracted the attention of a hunting party of gnolls. And they decided to take that opportunity to attack and caught you largely off guard. That Traveler's Rest is probably quite a bit worse for wear, with some busted windows, broken through doors, damage to the roof. But miraculously, thankfully, all of you emerged still alive, if not quite unscathed. So rather than deciding to stay there in the midst of the blood and battle, in the midst of the fallen gnolls who you have defended yourselves from, you decided to continue to go back out into the hills to try to find different shelter, safer shelter, hopefully in a location that would not be so easily breached just in case there were some other hunting parties roaming the area, which, as you know, with gnolls, there very well could be. So finally, with the storm and the rain still blowing, you found what seems to be a fairly dry, quiet, and unexpectedly large cavern. Farther, continuing your journey westward, farther westward from your location. Deeper into one of the valleys. So that is where we last ended. You are recovering. I don't know if you're about to take a long rest. If there were any things that you wanted to discuss or do prior to that long rest, we can go ahead and start with that. But that is where we are going to begin episode 5 of this adventure. So with that, we will go ahead and cue the opening. All right, keep it together, guys. We have so few smooth transitions. But yeah, that'll be great. We're not going to spoil it, but there might be something cool coming your way soon, Scribblers. We'll see. Anyway, we are beginning in that cavern with the sound of the rain and the rolling thunder still pervading through the night. You're recovering from your wounds. Some of you definitely did take some significant damage. A couple of you nearly fell, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we stopped right before the long rest. During our last session, we stopped right as you had really entered the cavern. And you notice that it is, while the opening itself was rather small, just part of why you chose it. You wanted something that wouldn't be easily spotted from any main paths outside, and certainly far enough away from that waypoint where you were attacked and where the bodies of the gnolls still lay. As you entered, it was actually much larger than it had appeared from the outside. It's bigger on the inside. And as you, because I think some of you lit some torches, you're getting ready to kind of settle for the evening, for the rest of the night, however much of the night still remains, because your rest was disturbed by the attack. You notice that it does seem to stretch a bit farther back into the darkness. So you think that there is more here, but as you focus and send out your senses to try to determine, was it Bomb or Kendis who did that last time?
I think was it Bomb?
Send out senses?
To try to see if there was anything else within your vicinity, any danger, any threat within the tunnel.
Oh, I remember now, yeah.
One of
and
you
then
did.
I remember, I think I was setting up a trap behind us.
You
Right.
were.
Like a tripwire.
You set up a tripwire.
And I was trying to find
Absolutely.
some wildlife to sort of scout down in further into the cavern, so like a rat or like a bat or something. My animal companionship or whatever it's called, beast talk or something.
Yep.
What was called now?
I mean, it's not too late if you wanted to try to find a small, like a little buddy to do some scouting for you. You probably could.
Beast bond, yeah.
So, as you're trying to determine if this cavern is secure enough, it's certainly dry enough. It is pretty comfortable. Marlowe, you've set your tripwire to at least cover the rear, so you can keep an eye on the front, the entrance to the cavern. And in time, you'll have your bedrolls out. You can have a fire. You've found a position within the cavern where if you build a small enough fire, it shouldn't really shine on the outside, not too much. You'll be able to kind of shelter it.
I can sort of control it with Druidcraft a little bit as well.
can.
But I
You
can sort of, make sure it doesn't get out of control or die down even.
Between you and actually Kendis as well, you have some of that minor elemental control ability with your red focus as a head witch, since you've chosen red and green magic.
Yeah.
So between the two of you, you'd be able to manage it, absolutely.
Sure.
Is there anything else you would want to do, want to discuss, want to prepare before you complete this long rest and recover your health?
I want to talk to Fenn.
Go ahead.
I think all anxieties I had about you have now been erased.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear it, and that was certainly something back there for all of us, I think.
You didn't run from... You didn't leave us hanging or in trouble. You stood your ground and protected us. It means a great deal to someone from my family, especially.
I'm glad to hear that, and certainly if we were to be set upon again, I wouldn't abandon you.
Of course, but words are one thing, and actions are the key. And earlier, they spoke for you. I need to know
glad.
nothing more. I trust you.
I'm beginning to trust you all too. I mean, was I that sort of forced myself upon you all, so it would be rather amiss if I didn't.
I That's all I wanted to say. I must find a bat now.
A bat?
Yes.
What for?
It can travel deep into the cavern we are currently sheltering in and check for any bears or those things back there.
Yes, that's actually a good idea. I mean, I if there were a bear here, I hope we would have noticed, but there is quite a ways down the cavern there.
You know
I'd hate to
what
be
those
surprised.
things were?
Sorry?
You know what those things were we put down?
Yeah, Scriv, did we know that... I can't
You
remember.
know.
Yeah.
Marlowe, you knew as well. Kendis, I'm not sure how close of an encounter you would have had with them in the past.
It's possible. I don't know. What's Jakul like for this kind of thing?
For you, given where you have roamed, I don't know if you would have crossed with their different, I don't really want to say migratory, but the different territories for the gnolls, at least in Monair until now.
Okay.
You probably would not have come into direct contact with them. So for that, I would probably have you roll a straight intelligence check to see if they may have come up in your studies. But Marlowe and Fenn, you know what they are. Fenn, you have, you had a narrow encounter with a couple of them, just barely escaping the notice of a larger hunting party. You don't think this was the same one, but you were in a hurry and you were running before. But you know what they were. You know that they are gnolls.
They're called gnolls. Scary, certainly when they're angry, definitely, as you saw. There are more of them around these hills. I mean, I've run into a few of them before.
You think random or targeted?
I mean, they wouldn't be after us specifically, but certainly if a group were to come across us again, it might be likely that there would be another attack.
Why do you say not after us?
Well, I mean, I don't think they were specifically pursuing us. It's more they came across us, I think. I can't think of any reason why a pack of gnolls would be hunting us.
Marlowe, do you agree with this?
I'm probably like halfway away from you, like sharpening a dagger on like a rock that I found.
Brom's not subtle though. He's literally shouted that.
Marlowe!
You agree with that? Don't know what you're agreeing to.
Right. I'm just like,
Yeah, sure.
okay. Come again?
The gnolls.
What of them?
Do you think they were after us, or do you think we just strayed upon them?
I think they were hungry, and we happened to be there.
So I will let either Fenn or Marlowe roll history check.
I can do it.
Or both if you want. You can both roll. Kendis, what did you roll for your intelligence check?
I got a 17. 15.
Okay. That's pretty good. So you would have more knowledge through books, through study, through learning, versus immediate anecdotal experiences. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got that. Marlowe and Fenn?
That's a natural 20.
Oh, nice.
Damn.
Not bad. What?
Damn. Okay.
I got a 19.
19
so
is very good.
22.
Dang! You all three of you got some good rolls. Bomb, you've never run into gnolls before. This is your first time out of her.
I'm not interested.
Mom's like, what's wrong with these dogs?
Haven't. These big doggos. Hello, my doggo. He came to say hi. Hello. You can see the top of his little
It's a
head.
gnoll. Get rid of it.
Get rid of
This is my
Get rid of the
gremlin
gnoll.
rogue chicken thieving boy. Chicken thieving gremlin pup. He did steal more chicken a couple weeks ago. Oh, stop. Don't go in that box. You're fine. Okay, so. Oh my gosh. Oh, now he wants to crawl in my lap. Oh no. Oh, no. So, with the gnolls. Kendis. We'll start there with your 17. You know that gnolls in Monair have been a problem. They don't exist in too many other regions at the moment. There were some that were rumored to have ventured farther up into Yokul by way of a land bridge long ago, but there is some speculation that the Vargren, a race of more lupine beings, sentient beings, may be in some way distantly related to the gnolls of Monair. Just having followed a different sort of evolutionary growth. He is jumping on the desk and it is a bit bothersome, this dog. Oh my goodness. Oh my goob! Stop it! Stop! What did you do? What just happened? Okay, no, we're good. Sorry. Oh no!
Oh my god. Ah! Unexpected dog. When it comes out of the blackness of the like.
Surprise doggo! Ah! Ah! Null attack! Null attack! If you don't behave.
This is happening IRL inside the caverns.
It is. If you don't behave.
That's really what happened.
I have
There
a spray
wasn't,
bottle
like,
now.
There wasn't a huge bloody battle. It was just us going down, down.
Back, I say. You goob. You
So
just
sorry,
attacked
I
me with
missed
the
a bit about the
spray
Vargon.
Yes. So, you have learned that they may be distantly related, kind of evolutionary cousins. And as far as what you know, the Gnolls are not quite as intelligent in general as the Vargren. And they are more driven by hunger, more driven by the more instinctual survival needs, compared again to the Vargren, who are a bit more logical. Marlowe, you have heard all sorts of stories about Gnolls. You heard rumors that while most of them do reside in the western hills of Monair, some had started to migrate towards the south. Although thankfully, and Baum and Kendis, you would both know this, they haven't really reached Glenfarra.
Would I have run into any of them on my, like, travels, like, on my stops at land?
They don't really go towards the ports. The Gnolls that you will have heard of, those stories would have come from other travelers, other traders who have come from inland to the ports with
That's
news.
fair. I
Yeah.
imagine probably I've mostly been to big cities.
Yes. This is the most time and the farthest inland you've really traveled since you began your seafaring journey. You didn't spend that much time here and there, yes, but in a more targeted manner for some past contracts and odd jobs that you've had to do. But you haven't gone into Gnoll country, and you're very much in Gnoll country right now. And you know that they will sometimes attack different settlements and travelers in a more opportunistic fashion. Fenn, while you have been traveling in this area, you've heard much of the same things that Marlowe has, and you've been traversing Monair a little bit more. You've heard rumors that they have become more restless in recent months. And there were particular concerns, even though they hadn't really come out to Fellbray, because they're not really going to make it out to out past the hills too much. There were concerns that Capal, that town that you have passed, you had the option of stopping there, but you went more for the hills. Capal, the largest settlement right at the edges of the Verdian Hills, has been having some Gnoll problems. And that the townsfolk there and the guards and the rangers living there have been more on high alert to try to hold them back. And of course, some hunting parties may have strayed as far south as not quite getting to Iyastera, which is another large port city to the south. Marlowe, you know Iyastera pretty well, actually. You've been there a few times. It's on one of the normal stops for the Maristella's route. In fact, you think the Maristella may have actually gone there after dropping you off to follow their normal circuit. But some Gnolls have started to go as far south as that, which is unusual for them. So you've heard concerns during your travels that they might, I don't know, something is causing a change in their typical behavior and causing them to spread out more. making them act a little bit more erratically. So the size, because you guys rolled high, the size of that hunting party was a bit concerning.
Mm-hmm.
It was larger than the 2 or 3 that you ran into before Fenn, and you didn't really fight all 3 of them off. You kind of in a surprised manner stumbled upon them, or they stumbled upon you. You lashed out with your blade and you just ran. In the chaos, you were able to escape.
I would not want to fight 3 gnolls alone.
No, you would not. Even with your fancy new sword that we finally created last week. Or Tuesday night. But that is what each of your different perspectives and your combined knowledge would reveal.
I think I'll relay that to Bomb because he was asking.
Yeah, Kendis is also going to chip in and share what they know. Yes, we had a rather fascinating book about gnolls once, which, I suppose academic study can only prepare you so much, but, well, that encounter back there was certainly educational.
Field research.
Oh, yes.
Another crack of lightning in the distance temporarily illuminates the opening of the cave.
Yeah, Bomb conjures with Druidcraft, he conjures an image of what the weather's like outside.
Mm-hmm.
And it's he almost withdraws his hand because it's so volatile.
It's pretty stormy.
Ooh. The bats come back and
So you found a bat. There are definitely bats in here a little bit farther back. And as you walk farther back into the cavern beyond where the light of the fire is really illuminating, so you have some of the deeper shadows towards the back. There's guano back there. There's definitely bats. You find them by their poo.
I kind of go.
Do a little bit of home study,
Echolocation.
echolocation, yeah. Roll for bat. Did you get the right dialect? No,
Yeah,
it'll be animal handling.
Learn bat.
Or if you have one of your different abilities, one of your different spells to use, you may use it.
16 with beast bond.
Mm-hmm. And
let me just
read
double
out
check
what
what
beast
it is.
bond is again.
Yeah, I was going to double check for you.
Excellent.
Beast
Excellent.
bond.
You know what I'm gonna ask for.
Yeah.
Oh, I love tea.
Telepathic link with one beast within distance.
Excellent.
The spell fails if the beast's intelligence is 4 or higher.
And that's what I'm looking up. Let's see what these bat stats are.
Through the link, the beast can understand telepathic message and can communicate simple emotions and concepts.
Oh, what's that face?
What is it?
What's the minimum requirement for intelligence?
4.
Oh.
Bats are at a 2 intelligence.
No, 4 higher it fails.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. It's
Well,
very
you've got
simple.
your
Very
2
simple.
intelligence, -4 modifier.
No, the lower the better.
Tiny little bat. So what do you do?
I just say check out the. Can you check it's safe down there in the cavern?
So using Beast Bond, you are able to make your request known. When it first, I'm not going to say it awakes because it's nighttime and the bats are nocturnal. But this one seems a little bit younger. I don't know if fledgling is the right word for a bat. A juvenile bat. Kind kind of cranes around. You've seen those videos of like if you swap the camera and it looks like the bats are standing up and it's they're like dancing.
Baby
Maybe
bats
not.
are called pups.
Pups. Oh my gosh, it's a pup. You found a bat pup. So it kind of cranes around and looks at you with these big, big eyes. And you make your request known. And it kind of chirps and screeches back at you a little bit. And within its call, its squeaking, you feel, okay, agreement. First, there's some confusion because you're certainly something different that they don't often see in these caves. So, initially, with its 2 intelligence, it says, strangers, different, not welcome. You get the sense that it's referring to you and your companions. So you may need to qualify a little bit more what danger might be. And remember how bats perceive the world as well, through echolocation. So not so much a more complex concept of danger, but maybe something that a bat pup may understand. Because danger, for a lot of creatures, could simply be something different when it comes to that instinctual response. Because its first response is all of you.
Yeah.
You were able to put it at ease.
If I roll insight on the bat, would it give me sort of more of a clarity about how I feel about what it's communicating?
I will let you either roll insight or roll nature check.
Okay.
To see if you can determine from your travels here what some threats to a bat or to you may be.
Nature of 17.
17, very good. Very good. So, you want to try to convey thoughts of other creatures that could be dangerous.
Yeah.
Or ideas, concepts. Think images.
Mm-hmm.
Think in pictures, basically.
Yeah, it's the telepathic. So I kind of and especially with echolocation, because they pick the outlines of things.
The outline, the rough outline, the material, the texture of things. So it's going to be a little bit more visceral versus verbal. You're not going to communicate as verbally with a bat. It's images and sounds. So if you think about what you're looking for and what you think would possibly exist within these hills. Forgive me if I'm getting a little bit technical with this one, but a bat is 2 intelligence. So we want to think about, well, how would a bat perceive the world, you know? But it's definitely waiting and willing to help. You have put it at ease.
I just telepathically get some like images in my head, like a bear, for instance.
Yeah.
Or like those knolls. I
Very
picture
good.
them.
Yeah.
And then I just communicate fear to the bat.
Okay.
In other words, like we want to know if they're around. Basically, that's it. That's
Okay.
Predators.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
predators, yeah. That's an
Fur,
example.
teeth, growling,
Yeah.
snarling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big creatures.
And
Absolutely.
I'm happy with that. I'll leave it there. I walk back to the group and I say, like,
Yeah,
I think we have a scout.
very good. And you do indeed have a scout. So before it leaves, before it flaps off into the darkness, because they don't need light, it actually screeches and squeaks towards you first. getting a sense for your shape, your outline, your resonance, and then flutters into the darkness. So you've sent it, you hear it squeaking and screeching as it goes. It's kind of adorable. But it'll take a little bit of time for it to come back and report into you, basically. And in fact, a couple of other bats seem to follow as well. It's not alone. A pup isn't going to go off alone. So in time, unless there's something else someone else wanted to do while little bat friend, bat pup, is exploring.
Just rest.
Yep.
Yes, that was good.
Yeah. So we'll say as this is happening, you guys are able to take your long rest as well, because I imagine you still need it to recover everything. And you will have had just enough time, if you do start your long rest fairly quickly, to recover. Bomb, you'll probably start dozing off and then be awoken again by Bat Friend.
Kendis will read some books. Which have
Okay.
not been rain damaged, I would hope.
Okay. No, you I'm not even going to make you roll for that retroactively. You know your books. You know how to take care of them. That's going to be one of the first things that you tend to be honest. Let me look up one thing very quickly. Okay. Okay. So, just before the bat returns, Kendis, you said you were reading. You're awake?
Yeah.
Do a quick wisdom saving throw for me.
Cool.
As you were just starting to nod as you're
That's a
You're reading.
16.
a 16.
Oh no.
The others, I imagine, are asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, come on, D20. There we go. Okay. That's good. Bomb. Bat pup comes back and reports to you what it noticed, what it found, what it saw. Farther down into the cave, saw some bones, remnants perhaps of some creature's meal. Some other bats, some water dripping as well. And then a bright light that actually interfered with it a little bit. And something humanoid. Farther down. Not large. Smaller than you. The light was coming from the humanoid. Perhaps as a...
Interesting.
Or rather, maybe it was holding the light.
Okay.
But no big creatures. Except for something's meal. It didn't go farther to continue to look. It was startled by the light. And then came back to you. But it had taken some time for it to come back. So you're not quite sure the distance.
Yeah.
But it must have been farther back, farther down.
I might as I wasn't particularly injured out of everyone, I might.
No, you weren't. You were on the wall in the ceiling for
Yeah,
most of
pretty
it.
much.
Spider bomb.
Yeah, I might use Longstrider to go and investigate.
Oh. Okay. While the others are sleeping, Kendis, you're awake.
Yeah.
Do you tell Kendis? Or do you just go?
I tell Kendis, yeah.
I feel like you
Edgewick.
would tell Kendis, yeah.
Might I interrupt your reading?
Timbersmith?
I feel there is a entity down further into the caverns. And while I do not feel it's hostile, I don't want to risk the others and their rest. Some of them are gravely injured.
And you think you'd be okay to go alone? My natural instinct is to come with you, but I suppose someone should stay awake and keep watch here.
Exactly. I will not draw too close if I feel the energy is negative or unnatural. But I wish to check. I'm just letting you know where I'm going. I shall run into the caverns.
If you're not back within the half hour, I will sound the alert.
Good.
Okay.
Yes,
Be careful.
I will.
Are you going further into the cavern?
Yeah.
Bomb is aware that Marlowe set that trap, right? Was Bomb paying attention when that happened?
Absolutely.
And alarms go off.
We just hear a boom. We hear a bomb hit the floor.
Whoa, let the bomb hit the floor. What did you arm that trap with? I thought it was just like little bells.
Yeah, it's like a clear, like, little translucent rope tied
Yep.
to either end.
Does
Some
Bob-
ball bearings, probably.
Okay.
Does Ben know about this?
I feel like
Yeah.
he would. Yeah, you would have
Yeah.
noticed.
I know
Marlowe
what you're
should have.
doing. I know what you're doing, yeah.
Yeah, that's better. Okay.
Very good.
Yeah, he avoids them.
Okay. So you are able to... Pulling up some other notes here. Yep, that's good. Okay. So you are able to continue downward. And as you go farther past the range of the firelight, you of course could conjure up some sort of light, some sort of torch if you wish. Or this bat, now having taken a liking to you, kind of flutters around and perches upside down, of course, somehow perches and clings to you if you would wish for it to come with you. How long does Beast Bond last? Or is it like a one-time thing and you just create that bond?
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
It may be just about running out now because it
Yeah.
took some time for it to explore and come back.
Yeah.
But it still kind of has a liking to you, so it might flutter around a little bit and then go back to its companions. So you go down. Do you have a light with you? Because you don't have dark vision, I don't think.
Yeah, I'll make a little flame
Okay.
with a druidcraft.
Okay. Excellent.
A little bit of a torch.
A bit of a glow.
Yeah.
So, actually, with Druidcraft, you'd even be able to like craft up some lightly bioluminescent fungi or something if you wanted to.
Something like that. Yeah, maybe a bit more of a subtle light. Yeah, exactly. Let's
That would
go
be
there.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So with your bioluminescence, because I like that word and I wanted to work it in somehow, you continue down. This the footing is a bit rough. And if you had not had some sort of light, you may have misstepped, because the cavern continues back into a sharply descending kind of path where you do have to actually do a little bit of climbing to climb farther down. As you very carefully descend, even with Longstrider doesn't give you an advantage on footing necessarily, it just means you're able to cover more ground very, very quickly. Eventually you do, as you descend past that first kind of twisting, jagged path, deeper and deeper. A few meters deeper down now, as you've continued to travel, you do eventually find some bones and some maybe other tunnels leading elsewhere, leading up and out farther into the caverns. You actually see, as you continue down, a little bit of a network of tunnels. Not too intricate. Maybe you've passed by maybe 2 other branches where you could have followed. So in fact, the first branching you come upon, you could either take kind of a sharp turn to your right or continue what looks to be kind of more of a forward progression. And as you descended past that first sort of rocky, craggy bit, it actually looks to be more like an actual path. Now, more like a tunnel that you can actually walk through. You've got to stoop quite a bit, because you're tall. Top of your head was scraping.
Follow that. I would follow that. Is there any sort of like cut path? Yeah.
Both to the right and forward seem to be more like they're not naturally occurring paths. A lot of it is natural, but this is more of a tunnel now.
I shall carry on that one.
Okay, so you continue forward for some time.
And when I get to the 15-minute mark, roughly, and start to think about going back.
So I was actually trying to calculate distance and time in my head here. So as you hit, because the bat travels very quickly, but then again, Longstrider. What's the distance for Longstrider?
The thing is, I can use Longstrider and Spider Climb. So I ignore difficult terrain there. So I'm a long striding spider.
Okay, so you would have.
Didn't we also homebrew that Bomb is a little bit faster because he's taller?
Absolutely, absolutely. So okay, you would have gotten here with no problem then. The tunnel narrows quite a bit farther, and then opens up again. Not quite as large of a cavern as you left your companions in, but a large enough space to create a frame for a pretty sizable set of stone doors. You have not come across any humanoids. You have not come across any other light other than what you have within your glowing shrooms. But there's a pretty large door here. Definitely carved, seemingly set into the walls of this tunnel, into the stone itself. No ornamentation. Just kind of a very, not quite square, but we'll say almost pentagonal, like an elongated pentagon sort of thing, with the 2 sides of the doors, double doors, coming up and meeting at the top in kind of a point.
So is it you're saying this door is you're not saying they're like freestanding doors like carved. You're saying it's a door leading somewhere. Yeah.
Seems to be.
Right. Okay.
It looks like it could open,
Right.
but there's no handles.
Okay. What Bomb's going to do, because he needs to get back. He can't carry on. Definitely not. Is he's going to quickly whittle, very quickly, very simplistic shape of wood from his reserves into like a wedge.
Okay.
And then he's going to push it or kick it underneath the stone door.
Oh. Okay.
So to essentially block that opening.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Okay, I'll allow it. I'm not going to... Because I would say to set a door stopper... What's your base strength?
My strength is
Because you don't necessarily need to wedge it completely under the door to prevent it from opening. If you're trying to like wedge it underneath the door, like into the dirt and stone of the ground that serves the base, and it's gonna take some effort to actually wedge in there. But
I've got strength +2, but
yeah,
I could try and put it in the side even, so it's at least the thin end is like wedging the door, and then it obviously widens out.
Okay.
I can use my chisel to whack it in as well.
Okay.
Even my hammer.
Yeah, you'd be able to do that. Just for giggles, roll a strength check for me.
Yeah. Natural 1.
Oh, I shouldn't have asked you to roll a strength check. So you're able to set them. Because you are strong.
I know, but a natural 1. Come on.
You are able to... You've set the... You've carved the door stoppers, and as you're starting to set them, one of them actually splits as you're trying to hammer it through. And the other one is missized, and that it kind of shears a little bit with the way you've split the wood. So yeah, you've split them.
I kind of shake my head, and I'm disappointed that the wood's not broken, because he's proud about any of the work he does, even if it's his door wedge.
Yeah.
And he just leaves. He goes, oh,
Yeah.
I tried.
But you've left some bits of wood there. You've tried to wedge them in. You don't know if it'll work. But then again, Also, do I want to give this to you? Yeah, I do. Roll a perception check for me.
Okay. That's better. 22.
Very good. As you are trying to wedge these now failed door stops underneath these double doors, because you're on the ground and looking, it does look like these doors had been opened, and they do open outwards. You see some grooves in the dirt of the tunnel floor that would have been disrupted and carved by the opening and closing of these doors. And with a 22, you can see that they did open and close recently.
I still have to go back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm very practical. If I make an agreement with
Yeah.
Kendis,
Of course.
then
Also, with that 22, you do notice one other thing about the doors. While there are no handles, there does seem to be a small kind of circular recession kind of within the middle of the two doors. Just very, very small.
Interesting. Okay. Fascinating cabin. Yeah. But I have to, alas, spider long stride back. Yeah.
Yep, so you make it back just in time with maybe like 2 seconds to spare. Kendis, you're counting down that time. You were
There you are.
kind of waiting.
Would Bon have covered his tracks?
Bomb, would you have covered your tracks?
No, I was pegging. I was pegging it down there.
Noted.
Is something of a mystery. I tried to block. There were some stone doors down there, leading somewhere, and I think they've been recently used. But I tried to block them to evade any sort of visitations. But I'm not sure I was successful.
Bomb and Kendis, both of you roll wisdom saving throws for me.
Oh man, again. It seems you have
because you two are awake.
Oh yeah, of course.
Wisdom. 16.
Okay.
19.
Okay.
Seems we have taken shelter in someone else's domain. Was there anything noteworthy? Any carvings, markings, anything that might give us some kind of idea of what we're up against? Or, well, possibly friend or foe, as they may be.
No, all I know is there was an image of a humanoid with light. That's all I investigated. But I don't know.
Perhaps
We may wish to head down there as a group tomorrow in the morning, or we may wish to just move on to our objective. We'll talk to the others in the morning, I think. But I shall stay up. I feel fine. I shall let you rest now.
Well, if you're sure, I can't say I feel too at ease settling to sleep, knowing there's something in this cavern with us, but, well, what can you do, I suppose?
Exactly.
Feels like things can't get too much worse than the night so far, anyway. Oh, good night, Timbersmith. Do wake up swiftly if anything should occur.
Of course. Sleep well.
Scriv, you're muted.
I muted it so you guys wouldn't hear me clacking away on the keyboard. I had to take some notes. Okay, so you're taking a long rest. Bomb, you're staying awake? You're not resting?
No.
You know that will incur a point of exhaustion.
How long has it been? Because Fenn only needs to stay asleep for 4 hours of their
really?
long rest. The rest that they only need 4 hours of sleep. They still need to rest the whole time.
Bob doesn't know that.
So yeah, I mean, after I've had 4 hours sleep, I'll wake up.
Did you wake up? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right,
so I
perfect.
can take over.
I don't think it's been 4 hours.
No,
Yeah.
but like Bob
Yeah.
was out.
But
But yeah,
so Bomb
you
can
can
get a
swap.
little bit of rest. Towards the end.
That'll be good. You're definitely able to do so. For the rest, the rest of the few hours, Bomb, that you will need to stay awake, passes by pretty uneventfully. Fenn, switches over to you.
Yeah.
Now moving into the early hours of morning. On your watch, you see just that cold gray of the early sky, the early sun, starting to touch the sky. From what little you can see from your perspective here, if you were to go kind of closer out to the mouth of the cavern, if you were to do so, perhaps you wouldn't. Some time passes. You feel a strange kind of twinge, like something tickling the back of your mind a little bit. You feel an urge to keep your blade close to you, as it already is.
So, yeah.
Make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh dear.
Oh man, something's gonna get us eventually, eh?
Whew.
This was hours past the last one. This is just as the others are now beginning to awaken.
It's only a 5.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Oh.
Okay. Everyone wakes up. It's the next morning. It's cold. But the storm has mostly passed. It is now just kind of a wet, kind of persistent drizzle outside, but it'll be intermittent. And if you were to look up at the sky, it looks like you do see some patches of blue amongst the clouds. So it looks like the worst of the storm has passed. Thankfully, without too much water being blown or flowing into where you are. It stayed pretty dry here. But you all awaken, refreshed, or as refreshed as you can be. Recovered your hit points. Bomb, Kendis.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a conversation you needed to have with the group. So you all awaken. The bats are all sleeping now. Now that the sun's up, they're all back in their little bat roosts.
So Timbersmith discovered an interesting development last night. We acquire your input. The question is to explore further, to go on our merry way. Bon, would you like to explain a little more about this strange happening?
Well, I sent the scout out. They returned with images of a humanoid down there, and I obviously got concerned after what we've been through. So, about half an hour's journey deeper into the caverns, I came across a chamber with some peculiar stone doors. They have no handles. They have some sort of indentations that could probably take something, a key of some sort maybe. And they've been used regularly. It doesn't strike me as like a miner's area. It seems something much more unusual. But whether we investigate this morning as a group or we just move on to our larger purpose.
I mean, I for one am quite curious, but I suppose it depends on how pressing your, how soon you need to reach Felbury for whatever it is you're doing.
Do you, perchance, know the way back to that door?
I do, yes. I lit the way. I'm good with directions.
I cannot deny that I am curious, and I've never been one to turn down the pursuit of knowledge. But that's not always sensible, I'm aware. Perhaps a little self-indulgent of me to want to explore.
We aren't necessarily on a time crunch. A bit of exploring isn't out of reach.
Okay.
That's true.
I am intrigued too, especially with the way the doors were carved.
And I mean, if it was only one humanoid that that was spotted, there's four of us. I'm sure even if they are dangerous, we'll be fine. We bested those gnolls yesterday.
Indeed. Okay.
After you.
Okay, I shall not climb on the roof this time. We'll see then.
As we're walking,
Muted script.
can I look at the, I'm looking for any other signs that someone else has been down this way, apart from Bomb.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't check any of that.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
good. So roll a survival check for me to look for tracks and traces and remnants of passage. As you are continuing along, whatever this roll is, I will say this continues until you reach the doors. And during this roll, as Marlowe is rolling, I will say those of you who had to make a wisdom saving throw, you got that same feeling that Fenn did. Fenn, yours is probably a little bit stronger. But you felt like something was watching you. You got that feeling, you know, of eyes. But it passed very, very quickly.
Survival?
Yes.
19.
19. Very, very good. So you see Bomb's footprints.
Right.
They're kind of unmistakable. You do see as you go closer to that first fork in the path, the prints of maybe some creatures. There does look to be something kind of like bear-like in one of those caverns, going more down the path that went sharply to the right. But it looks old. And as you continue just a little bit past that fork, but before the doors, you do see some footprints. About, actually a little bit smaller than your size shoe. And what did you just roll again? 19?
19?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the footprints look to be, I mean, they are the prints of someone wearing boots, but not necessarily very rugged boots. I guess I would say that. It's not like we can really analyze tread on
humanoid.
shoes too much. Humanoid. Yep, smaller.
Smaller than me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it looks like they walked out because the points, the toes were facing back towards where you were all sleeping and staying. Then it looks like they turned back around and they go right back up to those doors. And you see what Bomb saw, the grooves in the ground as those doors had opened and closed at some point.
I want to go up and investigate, like, around the doorway.
Okay. Roll your investigation check. This will be a different one then. Different check from survival.
$22.
Very, very good. Okay. So the doors are pretty nondescript. They look to be carved of the same kind of stone that just naturally exists within these caverns.
I have a question.
Okay. Before I continue on, because there is something else, but ask your question first.
I didn't work with them very long, but having worked with the dwarven family,
The Bouldersmiths?
The Bouldersmiths. Would I recognize these doors to be of dwarven handicraft?
That one is difficult to determine because they lack ornamentation. They look to be just very impressively smooth stone. Not marble. You're not seeing hints of quartz in there, but very clean lines. Very smooth stone.
Would I be able to tell if this was handmade or magic made?
Handmade. not magic made. However, there is something very interesting as you look towards, as you take a step back, you've been inspecting everything, and take a step back again, and you see about eye level for you a small circular indentation, a depression, set into the stone. And if you look very, very close, it does look like something could be set there, probably something about the size of like a coin. And if you look just very, very carefully, because you rolled high, there's the slightest engraving, the slightest impression of kind of a swirling, almost serpentine kind of image within that depression. It would have been very difficult to see if you weren't rolling high for your investigation and looking with your background and looking for very minute details. So you did pick up on that. Aside from that, you don't notice anything else. Do you share that information with the party?
I point out the little
The serpent?
Yeah.
Okay. And at first it was hard to see. You even had to kind of put your hand in and feel the grooves to really determine what it is.
I have not, however, let the party know about the footprints.
Okay.
But I have let them know about the serpent.
Okay.
Would I be able to tell... I'm sure maybe I probably haven't come across something like this, but would I be able to tell whether it's locked or not?
It certainly is. And you know that it has something to do with that kind of circular slot, like carved into the doors. And the center of it goes right across the seam between the doors. The two. Without seeing any mechanism associated with it, you assume that there's something arcane involved there. Even if the doors are carved by more mundane means.
Kendis, would you perhaps be able to... I know you're skilled in arcane. Perhaps scan this doorway.
It's possible.
That is, of course, being that we're interested in seeing what's behind it.
Let me think about what spell would suffice, since I don't have them spell list memorized. Trying to think.
We need to go over what your oracle cards would contain.
Yeah,
based
that's
off of
true.
your spell slots. Because you do have the ability to, as long as they lie within your colors of magic, you have the ability to learn certain types of spells if you've... We'll talk about it.
For sure, we should do that.
Yeah.
Is there some kind of detection spell? I'm sure there is, eh?
Identify. So knowing you, with your research background, you would absolutely have had identify. Although it follows more... That falls more in the realm of divination, of blue magic. Yeah. Of blue magic. Versus red or green. So divination wasn't your strong point, necessarily. But identify is one of those basic kind of spells that you would learn how to ritual cast, especially considering your fascination with research.
It would make sense, eh?
Yes.
Just trying to find this in the list. so I know how to cast it.
Or detect magic, actually.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Detect magic is definitely one. Because identify is more for items, we'll say. So perhaps detect magic would be more likely.
I guess that's more general for detecting magic,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to specifically
Yeah.
identifying whether something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, can I use detect magic?
Absolutely. So this door definitely it lights up within your senses as you're casting detect magic using the appropriate card. I'm imagining something like the Moon Tarot card here.
Yep.
Heavy divination and abjuration flavors of magic associated with this door. With unveiling, with revealing, but also with protecting.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll relay that information to the party.
Definitely centered, like if you were to find an activation point, it would be around that kind of coin-shaped slot.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yes, well, that detected magic, all right.
You also... What's the range for detect? There's a range with detect magic.
30 feet.
Yeah. All of you standing pretty close together. You know that there are various items and objects on your companions that light up a bit. However... Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think you're about to answer my question. I was going to say, like, they wouldn't obscure the, like, magic that I'm trying to sense.
You wouldn't really have the means to unless you had some sort of shielding, almost like a Faraday box kind of thing.
Okay.
Like what you have, in some ways, what you have the device stored in right now.
For sure.
So, there are some interesting things that pop up from your companions, actually. Different devices, Marlowe, your Alchemore is definitely one. I don't know if you've necessarily revealed that too much. You used it in the shop.
I haven't revealed it at all.
Nope. But that lights up a bit. You get a prick of that. But it doesn't really surprise you. Something that is interesting to you. Some different things emanating from Fenn.
Ooh.
The sword. That blade is interesting. And it's interesting in the sense where you can't quite get a read on this, a school of magic or a specific aura from it. It almost seems shifting. Guarded, almost, even though it's hard to really describe that feeling. But then there's something else that Fenn has somewhere on their person that actually resonates with a very similar kind of magic as this door.
Kendis will look at Fenn with narrowed eyes and be like, do you know anything about this particular flavor of magic that I'm sensing?
You don't know what they're referring to, Fenn. Like, what? Because you know what you're carrying.
Yeah.
But...
You mean the door? I've never seen. I've never seen anything like it before.
Interesting. I'm sensing an object on your person that is of a very similar magical texture to this door here.
Magical texture. I love that
That's
phrase.
a really nice way of
It's
saying
like,
it.
this one feels gravelly.
Ooh, it's like an energy.
Yeah. Tangible. I wonder if that's kind of like an arcane synesthesia in a way.
Yeah.
That That's
really cool.
fun.
That would totally be a
Develop-
hedge witch thing
You
too.
should
Oh my
totally develop
gosh.
that as like as a term. Yeah, as a term within the hedge witch build.
All right, we'll talk.
Does a bag of holding just feel fluffy to you in its texture? All that kind of thing. Different items have different feels.
Mhm.
I like thinking about things in terms of textures.
Yeah.
That might be a thing. That might be part of Kendis.
That would be cool. Load her up.
Okay, so continue on with this very interesting conversation.
Yes. Outside the sword, I'm sensing something else on you, which rings very similarly to this door.
Fenn like pats around their pockets a bit.
It's like that scene where you're like emptying your pockets out, like some pennies.
Frog on a log. Frog on a log is the secret this whole time.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
I mean, the coin I have is round, and there's the round shape on the door. You're better at magic than me. I like magical things, but I'm certainly no arcane expert.
What kind of person just goes and picks up magical objects and carries them around without having any understanding of where they're from or what they are? That's bizarre. Although, I guess I appreciate that.
All of you.
Marlowe's just like,
what kind of moron would do that? Marlowe's just like,
yeah, right? Oh, wow.
Weird. Bomb's just nodding in agreement, like,
Bob's nodding, holding the spider in the box.
Can we find out what this is by process of elimination? Like,
yes. So as Fenn holds up that coin, oh yeah, definitely a thing. And Fenn, the coin in your hand, the silver coin, does have a rather serpentine design on it.
It appears.
I think I mentioned that before.
It appears we have a match. What a coincidence.
Do you remember where you got that coin, Fenn?
Yeah, the man in Felbray gave it to me.
Would you be willing to part with it in the name of exploration?
Well, you can certainly borrow it. I'll hand it over.
Okay.
And Kendis takes the coin and puts it into the coin slot.
So, it slides easily into that circular depression. And as it does, it actually begins to glow with this very, very pale blue kind of light. And as it does, that serpentine design on the coin itself glows brighter, and it almost seems to spread into these glowing tendrils and meandering designs, spiraling designs all across the surface of this door. Dozens of small snakes seeming to almost slither across the surface of the stone as the light spreads. Each place where it touches, the door begins to glow, and you hear this grating sound of stone opening. As the snakes begin to even branch out into more and more, all around the edges of this door are now points of light, stars, almost. But not just stars, constellations.
Do I recognize any of them?
You definitely would. These are constellations that you have often seen at sea, up in the night sky. And one that is close to your heart, your sentimentality, the Wanderer is definitely there.
Yeah.
One of many You see them as the major constellations, and some that you don't quite really recognize as well. Slow grating of stone as the doors begin to open. That coin still kind of held in one half of that circle now. As they begin to part and swing outward towards you, you have to take some steps back to avoid kind of being touched by them. Almost to the point where your backs are nearly touching the other side of this tunnel before they are completely open. Ahead of you.
Marlowe is deliberately standing in the way of the doorway so that when it grates open, her footprints get like...
You clever. Clever girl.
There we go.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah, nice. That's wicked.
They open and slow to a halt. And before you, the stone ground, the rough, time-worn earth of that tunnel actually gives way into more, we'll say, more engineered, more deliberately placed stone tiles. Almost looking scale-like as they stretch farther ahead of you into another tunnel. Lit with these torches along the wall, these sconces, emitting that same sort of blue flame as the light, the glowing serpents that had spanned across the door. You take a few steps into this tunnel, I imagine. Mosaic all along the sides and the ceiling of this arched path that you're walking through. Beautiful, vibrant tiles of glass and crystal and stone. Constellations, stars, sunrises, sunsets. But winding along the top of this tunnel is this scaled serpentine body, a feathered serpent, as you continue to walk forward down into this hall. The sconces ahead of you, all lit, but as you walk through, each time you pass these paired dual sconces, these twin torches on either side of the tunnel, it turns blue. Ahead of you is just normal fire. Blue, blue, lighting the way as you continue on until you reach, we'll say, a few yards in. Those doors did shut behind you, by the way. And there's a figure standing there. Humanoid. Looks human, actually. A little bit shorter than you, Marlowe. In these simple gray, rough-spun robes. They pull the cowl, the hood back from them, from their face. And you see a face that looks very youthful. Pale skin. Dark hair. Long hair that's kind of held back. And these remarkably blue eyes looking up at all of you. And they say, with a bit of confusion, "Welcome. We were wondering when you might arrive. I see one of you bears a coin. And that is probably where we will end."
Ah, what?
Who are you?
Oh, that was cool.
In terms of story beats, in terms of
Yeah,
story
that's
beats,
great.
that's probably where we'll
Great,
need to
that was
end because I'm aware of the time.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
no,
really nice. Oh man, that's great.
That was fun.
I didn't have to change the music the entire time. It was all this kind of weird,
Yeah, it was
otherworldly
really good.
kind
Yeah,
of
really
thing.
spooky cavern music. Yeah.
That was cool.
I wasn't sure if you were gonna go for it, if you were gonna go down there.
I wasn't sure, but we were consulting with the others, and that was the decision that was made. So.
Oh, well, from like a meta perspective, I was like, well, we can't just swerve this clearly like an adventure.
Right.
This cavern smells of adventure and guano.
I mean, Fenn is very fond of putting their nose where it doesn't belong. Any kind of interesting thing, they're like, let's go.
I think that's something that you all kind of share to varying degrees in different ways. Yeah. Marlowe, Fenn, I'd say you're both a little bit more nosy, maybe meddlesome.
Marlowe's ever the wanderer.
Ever the wanderer.
I feel like nosy tries to justify it as like intellectual curiosity.
Absolutely. This is something that you haven't. You're familiar with enchanted doors with very specific kind of keys. It's very much an arcane kind of thing. That's like standard practice, keeping secrets out, letting only the initiated through. But you're not entirely sure what this is. However, you would probably realize it as you were seeing the mosaics if you're paying attention to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a temple. You know that. Fenn, you have no idea what you've gotten yourself into or what that coin is supposed to be. But it's still...
Fenn's like, ooh, am I in a cool club now?
Hey!
Well, Kendis is still the one holding the coin. So.
Yeah.
The coin kind of got stuck in the door.
Oh, did it get stuck in the door? Oh,
yeah, I
no.
mean, it was set in there, and then it stayed put as...
Oh, okay.
So
now we physically have the coin, but we must have the coin.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say you probably would have been able to grab it. Because you'd be thinking about that coin.
Mm-hmm.
It just unlocked. It's not like it is magically stuck there. So I'd say as the door opened, because only half of it now would have been exposed from the doors splitting, you probably would have been able to grab it. So yeah, you can keep the coin. It's only needed to open the doors. Okay. But that's where we're gonna end.
Nice.
That was fun.
Tune in next time in a couple weeks for episode 6. But with that, let's go ahead and switch up the music so it doesn't sound so creepy.
Yeah.
I love this little playlist, though. This is
It is cute. I like this.
This is a good one.
This particular one is playing.
So, this is a good one. Yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap it up there. I'm so happy we got to progress this along a little bit. Yeah, like I said, I wasn't quite sure if you were going to explore this or not, but it's one of the things I had prepared. I think you'll enjoy it. I hope you'll enjoy it.
Enjoy it already.
Excited for the next sequence then. But we've already talked about Bard Commune. We don't really need to push that. That's the only thing I would really have to push. Announcements, parting shots, things you're excited to share. The world's kind of opening up a little bit, slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Maybe.
I think restaurants just are either they just opened up here or they're about to open up. Like for indoor too, here in Belgium.
Nice.
It's kind of fun speaking in English and French every day. J'ai besoin de plus de pratique pour mon français. But yeah, who's up first? Marlowe.
Hey,
Anything non-NDA that you can talk about?
I am. There's a Kickstarter campaign that has about 60 some odd hours left. It's a tarot deck, which is a very beautiful tarot deck, if I may say so myself. Every card is just like illustrated by a different artist, including yours truly. And we are so close to our next stretch goal. Link is in the chat.
Yes.
I'm also in a Star Trek Adventures roleplay game, which is every Wednesday on Voidcat Gaming's channel, as well as a Rime of the Frostmaiden campaign every Thursday on Geekly Inc.
Very good.
Nice.
Very, very good. Fenn, your turn.
Not really much going on with me at the moment. But you can find me at Argon Skies Art on Twitter. It's where I am mostly. Yeah, not up to much at the moment. Just vibing.
Just vibing.
Just vibing.
Doing your art. Getting ready to be a mentor for Bard Commune.
Yes.
Oh gosh. Gotta sign up. Gotta go register. bardcommune.com, folks. You got 3 of your current mentors right here. Everyone on here is on the board. Yeah. Everyone on the screen right now are founding members of the Bard Commune. It would not exist without these beautiful people on the screen around me. Okay, Kendis. You've got some IRL adventures still going.
Yeah, just having fun on my Canada travels. There's new T-Light Press stuff coming out at the end of the month. Our theme this month was Zodiac, and we have had a ton of submissions to go through, so that'll be pretty cool.
Nice.
Just living life. Eventually I'm sure I will make something again, but there's no rush.
Probably before too long. We need to keep talking about some things, I think, which we're not ready to reveal here yet. I have a question for you, because I've been seeing some of your pictures that you've shared of just these beautiful places that you've been visiting. What's your favorite one so far since you've moved to Canada?
I am gonna go look at my Instagram and see what I shared recently. There's some really nice mountains around here. Harling is a really nice peak. Just been doing lots of cool hikes, really. Went to Lake Louise, did some of the touristy stuff there. Just the town that I'm in is just so nice. There's always like nice stuff going on, nice views. I work at a helipad now, so going on helicopter tours of the Rockies.
That's so badass. That's so cool.
During my days, which is pretty cool. Just hop on a flight now and then.
Nice.
Zoom around the Rockies. That's pretty cool. Yeah, there's some really beautiful places here. It's kind of hard to pin down a favorite. But yeah, I do like the mountains of Canmore. Harling Peak, east end of Glendale, Little Lougheed. There's some cool places. Good scrambles.
Just the names sound like they should be in a fantasy adventure.
I've been collecting
the Howling Peaks.
I've been collecting mountain names. I'll send you a list because there's some really nice ones.
Ooh, perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool sounding. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh. That's one of the things I really like about traveling, as much as able to, and in the past as well. Just getting the inspiration from the different environments, from the landscapes. Yeah. Love hiking.
For sure. I'm feeling a lot more inspired, like definitely inspired. Not, I guess, maybe more inspired too, but a very different flavor of inspiration.
That's good. That's good. You need that nature bath.
For sure.
You had a big announcement this week.
Yes, Inspirals is out. Yeah.
Woohoo!
Itch.io and Drive Through it's on at the moment.
Yes.
Digitally. And I'm trying to make people aware that there's massive video tutorials linked to the PDF as well. So heads to a website, and then you've got done by my deaf colleagues, produced by my deaf colleagues in ASL and BSL. So it's really cool.
That's fantastic.
It's doing really well. It's selling really well. I'm very happy. It's my first game, so and I just announced Over Isles, the sort of sequel, the large sequel.
So, you want to tell us a little bit about Over Isles?
It's
or
a
not
direct.
Yet.
Well, it's a direct sequel. That's what I'm saying. But it's
okay.
It's look up basically. Look up from the islands.
Different setting.
Different setting, yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be beautiful. God, that artwork.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
amazing.
incredible. Yeah, and our own Sash is actually going to be a character in it.
That hasn't really been announced yet.
That's the
Hot
first time
takes!
it's-
Here's my Iyastera hot takes.
Not like
Kendis, specifically, right?
She's actually the narrator of the game, so yeah, as Scriv was the narrator.
later for feathers, which is very cool.
Got a burb guide.
Yep.
We
So
already
that's
have the concept for Kendis.
Yeah, and I'll be running workshops for the Bard commune about how to develop full Kickstarter, how to make a good campaign. Because I learned a lot of things from the first one, a lot of mistakes from the first go at it. So, and that's the best way to do tutorials really, and to do workshops.
Now the workshops are something we haven't formally announced yet. I referenced it in the Bard commune Twitter, but while we are waiting for the full web app, yes, we are going to start offering up some workshops, some free workshops for basic members without having to pay for the subscription right away. And Rich's workshop for Kickstarter and bringing a TTRPG from start to finish is the first one. And I think that'll be a perfect place to start because it will help to encompass the entire life cycle of an indie TTRPG.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good foundational kind of workshop for us to present and use.
It'd be really fun.
Yeah. So it'll all be pre-recorded. It'll be organized in different segments, different parts and chapters for it. But we're very excited and very thankful that you are wanting to share that experience with the community. I know I, for one, will be following that one like a hawk because I want to learn as much as I can from you with Bard RPG being on the horizon.
Exactly.
I've already started identifying key artists and contributors to it. And I really, really need to get to the point where I can get it ready for alpha testing. So I'm going to be asking for some advice on that because this will be my first time really play testing a new system. So keep an eye out on Discord and Twitter and stuff.
Brilliant.
And those are my announcements too. Bard Commune, bardcommune.com. Go, 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 go. We're excited.
Get on it, yeah.
Okay, I think that's it. So we should probably go ahead and close out then. So let me get this prepped. All right, everyone. As always, thank you so much for joining us on this next part of our adventure. Keep adventuring, keep scribbling, and we will see you next time. Cheers, everyone. Nighty night. Cue video. Bow, bow, bow.
I love this video so much.
I know.